LUKE Kandra is a guard with good size coming out of the University of Cincinnati. Luke measures 6'4" 3/4 inches, 319 pounds, with 31 7/8 inch arms. We're watching him in particular at the right guard position. This defender is going to shoot the A-gap inside of Luke, gets off the ball quickly. Luke does a great job firing his hands, stopping the feet of the rush, and then working his hips and his lower half to get in front of this rush. Then we see this little pop he gives him to create that distance or that space. Real nice pop. He gives this 3 technique coming off the ball here. Gets his hands off first. You can see it stops the feet, rocks the defender, and then refits his hand, moving him past the pocket. Luke does not always play with good knee bend. Very often he is straight up. I think at the next level he might be more susceptible to these sorts of spins against more athletic defenders if he can't create distance consistently. Just a couple general points about Luke before we get into this play. He is not a run blocker who drives guys off the football. He does, however, make his blocks more often than not. I have not seen him lose too many reps. There are some that are stalemates, but I've yet to see him get blown off the football or have him lunge to have somebody swim over him. He's pretty consistent in making his blocks. One of the reasons perhaps we don't get a lot of movement off the ball from Luke, and you can see the nose work to his side. He takes him over one-on-one. He is controlling him with his hands here, but Luke stops his feet. He's a bit straight up and his feet stop. The idea here is to control with the hands, move with the feet, drive with the hips. He's got part of that. And as I said, he does make this block. Luke is very good in picking up stunts, very attentive as to when to come off combination blocks. He looks real good on double teams, takes good angles and allows the back to read off of him. You see here, he takes the linebacker where he wants to go, and the back runs behind him. He's very effective in coming off double teams, particularly at the line of scrimmage. Watches this linebacker, shoots that gap. His eyes pick that up. Real good timing, comes off that combination, clears that gap for the back to run through. This is a 3rd and 12 screen call to the back. The offensive line in particular has to be very patient before they let these blocks go, so as to allow the wide receiver routes to get far enough downfield. I think Luke looks great on this. In effect, he makes 3 blocks. Luke's very patient off the ball, picks up this twist, holds it just long enough, and then you'll see him get downfield and make just enough of a block here on a defensive back to pick up the first down. He is clunky in space. I can't really get a feel for him athletically. To me, he looks a little stiff in his movements out in space. Really do like Luke's hand placement and how patient he is with his shoot. See him shoot this outside arm, then catch the defender. Don't like how he's straight up here, but he is able to move his feet, refit his hands, and finish the block. This video gives an example of 2 things I've talked about earlier in this video, one good, one bad. Does a good job holding this block and picking up this blitzing linebacker, but he doesn't stay on the block. You can see, once again, he's straight up here, and he's leaning on the defender, creating very little distance. Defender gets off the ball, gets in on this tackle. Luke looks like a guy with the potential to be a starter at the guard position in this league. He needs to play with better knee bend, and like a lot of the linemen that come into the league, he'll likely need a year to get NFL strong. But he's a good-looking prospect, I think, with a chance to become a starter at the guard position in the league.